welcome to the Soundschi Land show where everybody's upside down. And I'm a very, very lucky girl today because as you can see, I have Sascha Bachmann sitting next to me. And I got lucky and got to train with him today. And he's a very busy man, so we're just gonna dive right into it, and I'm gonna ask my first question. Because you came from gymnastics background, right? Your family were gymnasts. So how did you come to performing?
How did I come to performing? Well, there's lots of different stories of how this happened. The real reason is actually that my parents wanted to move to Canada when I was very young, when I was 14, and I didn't want to go to Canada. I wanted to stay in Germany. So they were looking for something in Canada that I might like, or something to make me like Canada, to see that Canada is not so bad. So they founded Circus in Montreal and sent me there for a summer camp for 2 weeks, hoping that I'll see that Montreal is not so bad or Canada is not so bad. I went to the summer camp and I realized Canada is cold and not so cool, but Circus I really, really like, and I really wanted to go to the Circus school. And 1 year later I had auditioned and I had joined the Circus school, but they were still in Germany.
And you were 15 years old?
I was 15 when I started Circus school. I did 5 years there, so I graduated when I was 20.
Cool.
So that's the main story.
Cool. And did you get into a show right away?
Actually, the day that so while I was at Circus school, I was already doing a lot of like special events and gigs around Montreal and Toronto, like one night gala shows. And then actually the day that I graduated, I moved down to New York City to join the Pippin musical on Broadway, where I did 3 months on Broadway, and then I did a year of the US tour. So I really started working instantly. I was lucky.
Sounds awesome. Okay, so for what I know, you're one of the most famous performers in the hand balancing scene. You don't think so?
I mean, I think there's a lot of us.
Yeah, but you're very present, I think. So I was wondering if you having this as a job takes away the passion out of hand balancing itself, or also straps or whatever else you do.
No, honestly, I don't think so. I think the fact that it is my job, in a way, gives it the passion. Because for me personally, when I would just be training for whatever fun or Instagram reasons or whatever, I'm not sure if I would be where I am now, technically, or in general. I don't think actually I would keep going as hard. Because it is kind of all the training that I do. Like, I don't necessarily love training every day. Like, every once in a while I'll have a good day, or I'll have a drink like a Red Bull and empty stomach, and I'll be really excited to train. It will be awesome. But to do the same thing every day for 10 years, 3 hours a day is hard mentally. And if I wouldn't have the shows, if I wouldn't know in 2 weeks there's a big show where I want to do this trick, I probably wouldn't learn it within 2 weeks. If that makes sense. So the show gives me a deadline and it gives me a reason. And at the end, really all the training, it really is for the shows.
That's really interesting. I also think it's an interesting message for all the people out there who think that it has to be fun each and every time.
I mean, like you said, I come from a family of gymnasts who, my grandfather was like the national coach, my brother graduated from Cambridge University in London. Like, I think it was always a part of my family to understand that things can be fun, but it's also very military in a way.
Okay,
so and I think too, especially hand balancing is something that if it's fun every time, like either you're that one chosen human being in the whole world or you're doing it wrong. Like, hand balancing is not easy, it's a pain. It's obviously it's fun sometimes, but most of the time it's just hard work.
Yeah. I noticed this session was just insane on my shoulders. Do you also teach? I mean, except
teach.
for me now, but
at the moment I teach a bit more because I don't really work much. Because we moved here so my wife can be absent. So I work like special events every once in a while, but I do have more time now, so I teach more. But if I'm on like a regular show schedule, it's harder for me to teach simply because I don't necessarily have that much time. Like, I'll do like 1 or 2 shows and I need to recover and I need to train, and I still try to like develop new things. So I train straps, train hand balancing, go to dance class or whatever. So honestly, like in a day of 24 hours, there's not that much time to teach.
Right, speaking of time, you're also very, you can do a lot of different things. You also do straps and you're a generalist. How do you manage all these different kinds of training?
I think it's important to make decisions what is important to you, what's important to you in a bigger picture, and then what's important at this particular moment. So in a bigger picture, it's important to me that I hand balance, that I'm keep my straps on a high level, and then I tumble every once in a while so I don't lose that. My 3 main disciplines. But then now I know, for example, my next contract, so I'm going to go to for a week and I'm only going to hand balance there. So at this particular moment I'm going to focus on hand balancing, but I'll make sure that, let's say once a week I still train a bit, like half an hour of straps, just to stay in touch with it. If I know I go to a contract like next year during the summer, I do a contract where I'll do my straps act in my hand balancing act in the same show. So then before this contract I'll be training like 50-50. It really depends on the in the moment priority. Then I was creating my new straps act. I barely did any hand balancing, and like for 2 months I really trained straps every day and creating and really just focusing on that.
Interesting. So you kind of have phases where you're very
Absolutely
focused on one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems to work well.
Sometimes.
How do you deal with recovery?
I'm young. I don't need to recover. No, I mean it's honestly it's getting harder. Like it's not like when I was 16 I could train for hours, I could party all night and I'll feel great the next day. No, like it's...
Holy shit, you would do that?
Of course. I was at Circus school. 5 years of college.
Tell us more.
No, let's not. No, I mean honestly it's getting harder to like manage recovery. I think because I'm used to training a lot and it's always been a big priority to me to train a lot. I do understand what my body needs and what I need to give to my body. Is just constant adjustment, like what kind of food does my body crave, what kind of food makes my body feel good, how much do I need to sleep, and what do I need to do outside. Do I need to go to, I don't know, Bikram yoga, like do I need to go to the sauna? Like if you have a pain in your body, it's like analyzing what this pain actually is. Like, is this your joint that's hurting, is this your ligament that's hurting, is this just a sore muscle, is this actually just a bruise because you hit yourself, like and then understanding how to treat these different things.
And how do you develop this kind of feeling for your own body?
I mean, I started like doing gymnastics 6-7 hours a day, 6 days a week when I was 5 years old, so it's really just, it came with it. And I was always interested in my own body, so like I studied personal training, I studied some physio stuff on the side just to like understand more. And my whole life I was in touch with it, like this is the one thing that you know, that in a way matters to me, so.
And it's also important for your survival.
Yeah, it is. Well, that's the thing. It's my survival, it's my work, but it's also, that's all I do every day, you know. It's not like somebody who goes to university to study math, for example. He'll know a lot about math, but he'll spend like 8 hours a day on math. Like I spend 24 hours a day on my body.
Right, yeah.
So you learn a lot about it.
Cool. Have you developed any kind of system, or do you have like a prehab routine that you do in addition to your practice?
Nothing really in particular yet, no. Like, no.
What about injuries?
I mean, I think because I know my body so well, I'm able to actually like stay injury free most of the times.
Cool.
Like the only injuries that I'll get is usually that I have that I get sore, very very sore, like too sore. Like I wanted to learn a new hand balancing trick, and the logical way would be I do 2 minutes on the first day, 5 minutes on the second day, and then slowly build it up. But no, I have to on the first day do an hour of it, and I can't do it for 2 weeks.
Because you get really obsessed about it.
Exactly, and I'm super sore, and I can't do anything for like 2 weeks. That's basically the only injury that I get now.
Okay.
But usually not real injuries, no.
It's interesting that happens to you.
Of course, after 10 years of hand balancing, I still need to learn this trick on the first day.
So what are you working on right now?
Lots of stuff.
Secrets.
Now I've been working a lot on like a very different and new style of hand balancing. That we'll hopefully see.
Can you tell us something about that?
No.
You said you're going to be in the Palazzo show in Vienna.
I'm going to be in Vienna, yes, but I'm going to do my real act there, my big act,
so
not the new act.
See that. Speaking of acts, do you produce them yourself? Like, do you do the choreography and everything?
No, not anymore, no. So the act that I do at Palazzo, the hand balancing act, is like the structure and the idea of it is all mine, and the act actually is also mine. But for example, my arrow straps act, I didn't choreograph it at all. I came up with the tricks, most of them, but the music and the choreography and everything, my wife did, Anastasia.
Who's your wife?
She does dual straps in Absent, Anastasia. Yeah.
Cool. That must be the perfect life.
It is, and you know, it's sunny every day. Because we're in Vegas, so.
Yeah. So you actually live here?
At the moment, we do live here, yes. We moved here 3-4 months ago, for her to do absent.
Cool. Well, I envy you, and I already told you if I could relive my life, I would do it like you did, starting very early and going to circus school right away. But I get to admire people like you. That's also cool.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I actually didn't mention this, but Sascha has been featured in so many shows. Cirque du Soleil is just one of them. But I will put the links to his website and to his Instagram, Facebook down below, so you can get more information about him. And other than that, that was it. I will let you run free again. And I will see you next Monday on the Soundschi Land Show. Remember to keep it playful, because the world is your playground, so just do whatever you love. Okay, alles eingeschalten?
Krasser Scheiß.
Okay.